just want to quickly go through the three demands. Glasgow Against Closures has united around over the last few years. The first one, no cuts, no closures. We believe that there is no case for closing any of our cultural assets. We elect the council to be custodians, to run and look after our venues, not to sell them off. The second demand is a moratorium on all asset transfers. Glasgow City Council and Glasgow Life are misusing the very poorly named Community Empowerment Bill to get rid of assets, handing them. We've had no track record, often, or history, and a desperate attempt to get these places off their balance sheet, which they consider a cost. The third demand, I think one of the most popular, is an end to Glasgow Life. 5 years ago, Susan Aiken came into power promising the bonfire, remember that? The bonfire of the Quangos, and that she promised to bring an end to the Alios, the arm's length organisation that Glasgow Life is, and bring them back into house, back into an accountable forum at Glasgow City Council. Yet 5 years on, what have we seen? Glasgow Life is being used essentially as a cover, along with COVID, for undemocratic asset stripping and closures.
The Glasgow Against Closures conference today has been really fantastic. You know, we've had some really provocative and thoughtful contributions from the floor already, particularly from Dr. Elspeth King, who was the curator of the People's Palaces, just went through an absolutely devastating critique about the cultural vandalism and robbery of this city's social history. So when we're talking about saving our venues and ensuring that the public realm, that all of us need to sustain ourselves as citizens of this city, to give ourselves some spiritual fulfilment in everyday life. It's not just about the buildings, it's about actually taking our great inheritance from previous generations of working class people, great amounts of our industrial and social heritage that's currently thrown in warehouses and thrown in storage rooms by Glasgow Life without a second thought. It's been a really powerful contribution today to show that we actually shouldn't be subsidising the vast, extravagant collections of millionaires and billionaires like William Burrell, but actually should be prioritising the restoration of buildings like Springburn Winter Gardens and the great industrial heritage of communities like Springburn that built the world's railways, and actually tell the stories of the working people of this city, which is currently treated like trash, and that's a big part of what we need to do too.
We want to work with everybody that wants to see change right now. We're being absolutely non-partisan about that. We're going across every political party and lobbying them to support us. So our People's Plan for Action that you can see there, we've got a website to support it, and I'd urge you to go. It's not just the top line statements that it says there. There's policy behind each of those statements that we would like to see implemented. These are all things that sit within the Scottish Government's remit, and we're targeted very specifically the Scottish Government because we know that the Westminster Government are our enemies. They are the enemies of our class, and it doesn't matter how much we ask them or try and pressurise them, they will not do anything for ordinary working people. They are our enemies. So we need to get rid of them. That's the only option for the UK Government right now. We need to get every last Tory out of power at UK level. At Scottish level, it's different. At Scottish level, we have a government that claims to talk the language of the wellbeing economy, that claims to be a left of centre government, that will sit in a room with us and have a conversation with us, that has a fair work minister and wants to effect a just transition. And if they claim to be all those things, we have to start putting pressure on them now, and we have to make real demands. And we have to say to them, independence is all very well, but we want jam today, not jam tomorrow. They have powers over income taxation, they can use land taxes, property taxes, and they can introduce inheritance taxes at a local level. They've got powers over business taxes and things like the small business bonus scheme. And when you actually look at their powers and what is devolved to them right now, There are many, many things that they could do to bring in more revenue and to rebalance our economy and take money out of the wealthy end of it and start to put it in the pockets of ordinary working people and into funding our communities. There is more than enough money already in the Scottish economy to make Scotland a much, much fairer place and to meet all of the demands in our People's Plan for Action.